One of the more difficult things in relationships is breaking up with someone that you still have a lot of feelings for, or getting rejected by someone you have a lot of feelings for. It's kind of hard to move on then. And if the other person moves on faster than you, well, then that will be extra painful. So a question I often get is, how do I forget someone I love? Well, I don't think it's a good thing to have forgotten someone you loved, because that could be a sign of Alzheimer, but moving on from them and being able to detach, so you can be single and happy, or so you can find a new person that can make you just as happy or even happier, that can be a good thing. Now, if we want to forget someone we still love, usually because of a breakup, chances are we are putting that person on a huge pedestal. We've made them very important, too important, because a person that breaks up with us cannot be important, by definition. Otherwise the breakup wouldn't have happened. They disqualified themselves by breaking up with us, but they will feel important to us. And that's because our ego at that moment thinks that it knows what's right for us, that it knows what's best for us. Yeah, I'm supposed to be with that person, obviously. That was a beautiful relationship and a beautiful future ahead of us with nothing but great things. Yeah, not really. And so that's the first mistake after a breakup, but there are many more, so let's talk about it. My name is Geert, I'm an author. I also use the pen name Brian Knox because that's a lot easier to remember. And the first way to move on and to let go of someone is deciding that that is what you want. And that may sound oversimplified, but as long as you hope that you can get back together with an ex, as long as you are trying strategies to get back together with an ex, you will never be able to let go. Getting closure doesn't come from an ex. It comes from us making the decision to turn the page. It's like when a ship sails off into the distance. It will get smaller and smaller and smaller on the horizon until it's finally gone. But if you cannot let go, you're continuously dragging that ship back to the shore. It cannot ever disappear. It remains big and present, and because we keep pulling it back, we don't allow it to sail away. So if you want to forget someone you love, the first step is to make the decision to let go. So how do you do that then? Well, first of all, when someone breaks up with you, they will usually become more important than they ever were before. Isn't that fun? That's a mind game. But also, you will notice that what you miss the most, what will hurt the most, is that those great moments from the past will now never happen again. So your mind is stuck in the past, but that's not all. Our mind will also be stuck in the future after a breakup, and there's something strange going on then. The thing we miss, the thing we love, is usually not the person that broke up with us, but the fantasies we have of them, the things we hoped would one day happen. And because of the breakup, it's now pretty clear that they will never happen. But they were a fantasy. We're often more in love with the perfect image we have of someone than with the actual person, than with who they are in reality, because we forget about all of their flaws, about all the ways they made us unhappy and would continue to do so. So yes, some of the great moments you had together will never happen again, but all those bad ones won't either. And given that there was a rejection or a breakup, I'm actually pretty sure that there were many bad moments leading up to it. Moments where you were not happy at all, where you didn't feel loved, perhaps where you felt unseen. And the good news is that even though every breakup or rejection hurts a lot, you will feel better again as time passes. And again, you don't need your ex or another person to make that happen. Please let that sink in. Thinking that someone else like an ex can fix the pain is a mind game. It's a mistake. Also, you don't have to stop loving someone. You have to stop missing that person. You have to detach from the perfect image you have of that person. Your mind has painted a picture of how the future could be with that person, a perfect future, but the reality has proven that that picture is wrong. Again, otherwise there would not have been a breakup. Now, what we resist in life persists. And usually after a breakup, when it feels like you really want to get back together with your ex, what you really want is probably something different. What you probably want is for that feeling of loss, of missing him, of heartbreak to go away. That awful feeling. And our mind thinks, well, it's simple. If I get back together with my ex, then evidently that feeling will go away. Am I right? So it's about the feeling. It's about feeling good again. And good news, you don't need your ex for that. But here's the thing. The more we want that feeling to go away, the more we resist it, the bigger it will get. And also, the sillier the things we will do, like texting an ex when we shouldn't, or worse, writing them a long email. And if that was after a couple of glasses of alcohol, it will probably contain things we really shouldn't have said. The key, and this is important, the key to make a negative emotion like missing someone go away is to stop trying to make it go away, because then we are feeding it. The more we resist a negative feeling, the more it persists. The more we allow it, okay, this is a painful breakup, I miss my ex, this hurts a lot, but I allow that feeling. The more we do that, the easier the ship can sail away into the distance. Here's another insight. After a breakup that we did not initiate ourselves, chances are we want to get back together with our ex because we think we know what's best for us. Well, in cases like these, we really have no idea. And there's a nice parable, a nice story to illustrate this. There was a farmer and he had a horse to help him grow vegetables on the field. Now, one morning he wakes up and he sees his horse broke up with him because it's gone. So his neighbor tells him, wow, that's bad news. But the farmer says, good news, bad news? I don't know. A couple of days later, his horse is back and it brought a lot of wild horses with it. So the neighbor says, wow, you're so lucky, that's great news. The farmer replies, good news, bad news? I don't know. So the farmer's son tries to tame the wild horses, but sadly his son falls off one of the horses and breaks his leg. So the neighbor says, ooh, that's bad news. The farmer, who knows? Good news, bad news? I don't know. A while later a huge war starts and all young men are ordered to join the army. So they have to go fight for the army and many men die. But our farmer's son with his broken leg cannot join the army. So the neighbor says, whoa, that's great news. You're so lucky. I mean, come on. The farmer says, good news, bad news? Who knows? The moral of the story is that we don't know what's good for us. Even things like a breakup that feel very bad can in the end turn out to be the best thing that ever happened to us. Who knows? So you don't have to forget someone you love. You just have to decide to let them go, to make peace with it, to not try to control or change it, but to relax as much as you can and to just go along for the ride. Now, if you recently went through a breakup yourself, then I hope that this video made you feel at least a little bit better. I have more videos on this topic on brianknox.com, and if you want to read any of my books, you can find those on Amazon by typing my pen name, Brian Knox, in the search box. I want to thank you for watching this video until the very end. I always love it when you do that, and I hope to see you in another one.